So, the whole process of dealing with math, it either could be a good thing or a bad thing. It all depends on how the math was actually presented to you. I know when I was growing up, I used to suck at math. Like anything that went beyond adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, and life before we had letters and numbers mixed together, aka algebra, I was okay. But when factors came or fractions came around, definitely not. Word problems, oh no, not even a process. But I know through practice, a lot of people will say, just keep practicing and it will click in. But here's the thing, I can practice, but then I always rely on what I think is what should be the right answer. So then all of a sudden I do a lot of guesswork and I did a lot of avoidance. And then all of a sudden the results of the test was a D here, maybe an F. They didn't have E's back in that day. But then no matter what, you always had to figure out a way to crawl yourself out. You can stay after school with the teacher, but most of the time the teachers are exhausted. They've been teaching all day. So all they want to do is just sit down, reflect, or maybe just hurry up to get in their car. But then all of a sudden, you're still feeling at a loss. You still feel overwhelmed. And sometimes you don't want to show everybody your weakness. Because I don't know how you grew up, but I grew up, if I show my weakness, that's a way for other people to take advantage of me. So then I eternalize. I suffer silently. Or I just hurry up and find a way to just get an answer and turn the work in, so now it's over and done with. But guess what? Years later, you have to take a test. You want to get an improvement in your job. You want to get another job or a career. But now you have to prove that you understand concepts and you're relying on the concepts from yesteryear to help you with a test this week. So, if you don't know, my name is Audrey Codner and I am the owner of Math by Audrey. It used to be named ACG Math Tutoring. And now I'm trying to come here on TikTok to kind of ease the overwhelm, ease the stress by breaking down concepts step by step, which you usually will see in the GED, the ASVAT, the Accuplacer, the TEAS test, the HESI test, in order for you to gain not only knowledge, but also to gain some confidence. I'm not saying that you're going to be like, oh, I love math by the end of all my lives. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that you're going to feel at least slightly comfortable. And then you're going to try to figure out, you know what? I need more practice because now I understand it. So now you can solidify your understanding and be able to apply it. So what we're going to be working on today is going to be rather short because we're going to be working on factoring when your leading coefficient is not 1. And if you're like, well, why should we do that? If you're taking the GED or any high school equivalency test, that's a 4-point question. We don't want to skip any of our 4-point questions. We still want to be able to do like adding, subtracting fractions with a common denominator and be able to do your distributive property and also get some of those age-related questions as well as your distance, rate, and time questions. Good. But you don't want to skip the 4-point questions because that is what's holding you back. So we're going to work on that step by step so you can be like, all right, I think I get it. Now, it's not going to be nice and easy and comfortable, but I'm here to break it down step by step. All right, so as you guys are coming in, let's take a gander. So first, I want to refresh our memory a little bit about factoring trinomials. So factoring is basically doing the distributive property in reverse. We're trying to find what are the two expressions, if I multiply them together, will give me my original expression here. All right? So, since my highest degree is to the second power, that tells you how many expressions or how many x-intercepts you're going to have. Okay, regardless of they're using y's for the variable, but they're telling me I'm going to have 2 parentheses. So, what we normally will do is we will say that this is in what's called standard form. So with standard form, Let me see if I can make it less bright. With standard form, it's listed as such. So you have ax squared plus bx plus c. So standard form, it goes in descending order based off of the degrees, aka the exponents. So my highest degrees to the second power, the coefficient or the number that's in front of the x, that is, or the x squared, that's going to be your leading coefficient, your a. The coefficient that's in front of x, that's going to be your b plus whatever the signage is. And your constant, which doesn't have an x next to it or a variable next to it, that's going to be your c. So if we take a look, we have our a, we have our b, and we have our c. We're going to list it out. So for my original, my a is what's in front of this y squared. So if you don't see a number, you can assume that it is going to be a positive 1. For my b, it's the coefficient of the y with the signage. So what's in front of my y is a negative 3. That's my b. And my constant, or my c, is going to be this positive 2. So one of the ways that I like to do is called the AC method. So we have our A, our B, and our C. Some people like to draw it like a tabletop. I kind of like to draw it as like an X. So from here to here, and here to here. What goes on in this section is when I multiply my A and my C. This is why they call it the AC method, okay? Because you're multiplying whatever your A is with your C. So your A is 1, your C is 2. So 1 times 2 gives us 2. Underneath, you're just going to rewrite your b, and our b is a negative 3. All right, so now this is the hardest part. We need to figure out what two numbers multiplied together to give me 2 and add together to give me a negative 3. That's going to be the hardest part, okay? So MT, I see you, okay? Big, I don't know what that says. Is that BIGO or big? Okay, I see you as well. All right, so we need to think what two numbers multiplied together will give me a 2. Okay, Big Al, I see you as well. All right, so in order for us to get a 2, I can use 2 times 1. But if I add 2 plus 1, that will give me a positive 3. So that means I need to play around with my negatives. So in order for me to get a positive answer, and I'm dealing with two numbers, that means both of those numbers have to be negative, because a negative times a negative gives us a positive. So negative 2 times negative 1 gives us a positive 2. Now, negative 2 plus negative 1, that gives me a negative 3. So these two numbers right here are the factors that we're going to need to fill in our parentheses. So since our leading coefficient is 1, I can go ahead and just split my y's. Okay, so this is just a little refresher on how to do factoring when your A is equal to 1. Now the two factors that we found, we're going to fill in. So we have a -2 here, and we have a -1 there. So what we just found is our answer for the two factors for our original expression. Okay? All right? So when you're factoring, you're taking your A, your B, and your C, because it's already in standard form. Then you have to figure out A times C, which gives me 2. Rewrite our B, which is a -3. Hardest part is to figure out what two numbers multiplied together will give me a +2, and those same two numbers add together to give me a -3. Once we figured this -2 and -1, you can go ahead and put them inside of their parentheses. All right, hello. All right, so now that was a quick review on how to factor, like I said, when your leading coefficient is 1. But what happens when that leading coefficient is not 1? Okay, let's slide on down and break it on down. Okay, if we're going here and you feel like I'm going a little too fast, just go ahead and let me know. Okay. Alright, so let's start off with, let's keep it simple. So let's say we have 2x² plus 11x plus 5. Okay. Can I do polynomial questions? I am. Trinomial is a polynomial. Okay. So when we have our factoring, so first off, I would say our first step is to identify what's your A, what's your B, and what's your C. Okay. So your A, remember standard form. Your A is always going to be the coefficient which is in front of your x². So your A is going to be 2. It's not going to be 2x², it's just the number. Your B is going to be the +11. And your C is going to be 5. Okay. So all we're doing is listing our A, our B, and our C. This is our A, our B, and our C. So now let's draw our cross. What goes up top is your A times your C. That's why it's written as AC. What goes down below is your B. So we just need to multiply our A and our C. So that would be 2 times 5. That gives us 10. And you rewrite your B, which is 11. Okay. There goes Cara. Good. All right. Now, this is the hard part. Okay. So Hadi, did you just get here? That's probably why. Okay. So now, we need to think, and this is the hardest part, we need to think what two numbers multiply will give me 10, and the same two numbers add together to give me 11. Okay? What two numbers? Think of your multiplication. What two numbers multiplied together will give me 10, and those same two numbers add together to give me 11. Okay? Magnus, I see you. Okay, Harness, I think it is. I see you, living my life. Hello, I see you. Lisa, I see you. Okay. And if you're not sure, put a question mark. Okay, if you're not sure, put a question mark. All right. So if we think of our multiples of 10, you have 10 times 1, and you have 5 times 2. If I add them together, which one will give me 11? That will be your 10 and 1. Okay? DI, I think that's what it's called. There you go. All right? All right. So, you found your two factors. Now, this is when it gets hairy and scary. So we can set up our two parentheses perfectly fine. I'm going to put them over here. So we have our two parentheses because we're looking for our two factors. And we know we got the variable. So there's an x here and there's an x here. The reason why we have two x's, because my highest degree says it's to the second power. So I have to have two of my x's. Then we can put in the numbers we found, which is plus 10 and plus 1. This is not going to be my answer because my A is not 1. This time my A is a 2. Because like I said, when you're factoring, you're basically doing the distributive property in reverse. And if I multiply my x times my x, that will give me x squared. But my original says 2x squared. So this is the part that we have to change. Some people call it you divide or slide. Take a look. So now we have our leading coefficient, which is a 2. You're going to take your factors here and you're going to divide each of the factors that you just found by your leading coefficient. So I'm going to divide here by 2 and I'm going to divide here by 2. Okay, just take a look, take a breath. Okay, remember, some of you guys, this is probably the very first time that you're seeing this. But this is one of those 4-point questions I don't want you to miss out on. So now let's ask ourselves the question. Where did my paper go? Here we go. I'm going to do one parenthesis at a time. So I have x plus 10 divided by 2. Okay? 10 divided by 2 is what? I know I'm insulting your intelligence, but just work with me. What's 10 divided by 2? It's not 4. Okay, we got 5. John with 5. Ollie with 5. CJ with 5. Jazzy with 5. There we go. So now we can go ahead and divide that. So what do we get? X plus 5. Since you were able to divide it and get a whole number, that means you factored this parenthesis out. Now, we're going to do the other side. So we have x plus 1 divided by 2. If I divide 1 divided by 2, would that give me a whole number? Yes or no? Alright. No. Right. It will give you 0.5. Good, Leroy. Good, Oli. Good, what's that? Hetfield. Sorry. CJ. Okay. So since if I tried to divide the 1 and the 2, and I'm not going to get a whole number, remember the method's called divide and slide. So if we try to divide and we're not going to get a whole number, we're going to slide this 2 in front of the x. So this is what happens. We have our parenthesis. Now we're going to put 2x plus 1. Now it's factored. Okay? So if you can divide and get a whole number, perfect. Put that answer down. If you try to divide and it gives you a decimal, that means you can't simplify it. So that means you will slide it in front of the x. Okay? All right? So let's try another one. And my suggestion, just watch. Okay? Because a lot of people, like, as soon as I explain it, they're like, you hit send and you probably didn't hear any of my explanation because you're like, wait, why? Why is this happening? Why is that? Slow down. So if you can't divide, you will slide. If you can divide and it gives you a whole number, bring that number down. Okay? All right? So let's try again. Okay? Remember, there's multiple ways of doing the same answer. Because something is new, don't strike it out. Okay? Don't give up on yourselves. So, let's try this one. Let's try this one. So we have 15x squared plus 13x plus 2. Okay? So we are going to try. Okay? So, step 1. What we're going to do is find our A, find our B, label our C. It's already in standard form, so our A is always the coefficient of your x squared. So my A is going to be 15. My B is the coefficient of the x, which gives me 13. And my C is my constant, which is a positive 2. So now, since we have our A, B, and C, I'm going to draw my x. The top portion is us multiplying our A and our C. It's the product of A and C. And down below is the rewrite of our B. Okay. Alright. So, multiply your A and your C. What do you get? Okay. So this you can answer. A times C will give us what? Okay, Jazzy, I see you. Oli, I see you. Okay, do we agree? Okay, Peter, I see you. Hey, Janice, how are you? Tank Squared, I see you. John, I see you. Dalo, I see you. Living My Life, I see you. J.I., I see, or D.I., I see you. So 15 times 2 gives me 30. Now we're going to rewrite the B, and the B is 13. Okay? Okay, Lucia, I see you. Brenda, I see you. Okay? Now, this is the hardest part. Okay? All you're doing is multiply your A and your C. The 15 times 2. That's where the 30 came from. And rewrite the B, which is the 13. Now, here's the hardest part. What two numbers multiplied together will give me 30 and add together will give me 13, the same two numbers. numbers. Okay. Alright, Jazzy, I see you. Di, I see you. Lily, I see you. Brenda, I see you. I think there was someone before that. Ken, I see you. So sorry. Alright. Okay. So, one legit, I see you. Okay, living my life, I see you. So, we know that 10 times 30, or times 3 gives us 30, and 10 plus 3 gives us 13. This is the hardest part, okay? Because a lot of us are not that strong with multiplication, so we need to get strong with it, okay? Now, knowing that you have your factors, start your parentheses. So we have our parenthesis, and we have our set. Okay, so when you're factoring, it's like doing the distributive property in reverse. So let's start off. What is my variable? My variable are x's. So there's an x here, and there's an x here. The numbers that should be with the x's are the ones that you found right here. You have a positive 10, so that'll be a plus 10. And you have a positive 3, that'll be a plus 3. Okay, are we good so far? We would stop if my a was a 1, but it's not a 1. Okay, it's a 15. So what I have to do is basically divide both the 10 and the 3 by my a, which is 15. Okay, there you go, Daly. Good. Alright. Okay. We're going to keep going with this. So now, let's cover up. Let's keep it demure. So, with this first parenthesis, we have a 10 and we have a 15. Okay? Well, if I try to divide 10 and 15, I'm going to get a decimal, right? But there is something that I notice. 10 and 15 has what in common? 10 and 15 has what in common? Brenda, I see you. Ollie, I see you. Hetfield, I see you. Not every even number, but not every even number, because 15 is not an even number. Okay, Peter, I see you. Leroy, I see you. Berries, I see you. Hello, welcome back. Okay, living my life, I see you. Not sick. Okay, Jazzy, thank you for making that decision. Good. All right, Brenda, I see you. Good job. All right, so they both have a 5 in common. So that means if I did 10 divided by 5, I'll get a 2, right? And if I did 15 divided by 5, I'll get a 3. Okay? So we didn't have to do any reducing last time, because this time we were able to divide it and got an even number. But this 1/2, that's already at its lowest form. So we didn't need to reduce that last time. So, but I know if I try to divide 2/3, that's still going to give me a decimal. So this is what you did. You divide, but since we can't divide, you're going to take that denominator and slide it in front of the x. So your new parenthesis is going to look like this. You got your parenthesis 3x plus 2. Remember, this numerator was a 2. If we took this denominator, put it in front of the x, that's where the 3 came from, we brought down the plus 2. Alright. So now that took care of that first parenthesis. So now we're going to go to the other side. So we have x plus 3 over 15. Alright, I know if I divide 3/15, I'm going to get a decimal. But is there a number that 3 and 15 have in common? Okay, Leroy with 3, Ollie with 3, Jazzy 3. Yup. So they both have 3 in common. Okay, I see you, Snoopy. So if I divide 3 divided by 3, that's going to be a 1. 15 divided by 3, that's going to be a 5. So since, even if I divide 1/5, that's still going to give me a decimal. So you tried to divide, it didn't give me a whole number, so that's why you slide. So that means this parenthesis is going to be 5x plus 1. So the two factors that you need to factor this expression is going to be 3x plus 2 times 5x plus 1. Okay. Alright. So this is a little combination of AC method, but it's also called the divide and slide. Okay. We can do another. We're definitely got a couple more. I know it's different. Okay. So much better. Good, Jazz. Okay. So I know it's different. And you're just like, oh, this is freaking me out. Don't let it freak you out. Just take the moment to take a look at it. Okay? Take a moment to take a look at it. Do you like different? Okay. But I tried to walk you through it step by step. Alright? So let's take a look at another one. And plus, you know, it's hard for you, especially like if I'm in the middle of the problem, it's hard for you to be like, all right, I don't understand it. Oh, obviously, you just got here. Give yourself a little time. All right? So let's see. So we got example 3. And okay, we can do this one. Let's try 2x plus 19x plus 9. Okay, that kind of easier to remember. Okay, good. All right. So, first step, as I'm running out of daylight. So, first thing, we need to list what is our A, what is our B, what is our C. Okay? So the A is always the coefficient of your x squared, so the number that's in front of the x squared, which is a positive 2. Your B is always the coefficient and the signage of your x, which is a positive 19. And your C is the constant, the one that doesn't have a variable next to it, which is 9. Okay. Sorry. Lighting keeps changing in my house. So now, let's multiply. Let's get our cross going. And we're going to do the product of the A and C. And we're going to rewrite our b. All right, so a times c, that's 2 times 9. So 2 times 9, that's our 18. So that goes in that slot. And then you rewrite your b. My b is 19. Okay, good, guys. So now, the hardest part. What two numbers multiply? Because since we multiplied this section to get the 18, we got to think, what are two numbers that multiply to give me 18, but add to give me the 19? What do you think? And it's always the most obvious that makes it the hardest. Okay, so Leroy, I see you. Oli, I see you. Okay, Horse, I see you. Jazzy, I see you. Okay, Horse, I see you again, but I see you. All right, John, I see you. Yeah, John, you're getting better at these, which is good. All right, so it doesn't matter if you said 18 here and 1 here, or if you switched it. It doesn't matter, okay? You're going to get the same answer. So now we're setting up our two parentheses, our two factors. You're going to use the variable and you're going to split it. There's an x there, there's an x there. Now the two answers, the two factors that you got to make this into a true statement, you can put plus 18 here or plus 1 here. Okay. All right. So the only thing is we're not done. The reason why we're not done is because my a is a 2. If our a was a 1, beautiful thing, we're done. But since our a is a 2, that's what we're using to divide these two numbers. So I'm dividing the 18 by 2, and I'm dividing the 1 by 2. Okay, that's where the 2 is coming from. We're using our a. Okay, oh, I got you. All right, so now we're going to cover this part up and we're going to simplify. So we have 18 divided by 2. What's 18 divided by 2? Okay, Peter, thank you. Oli, thank you. Jazzy, thank you. Watch out for the exclamation point, because that reads to me 9 factorial, which is 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Yeah, just get the exclamation point. Okay, Live in My Life, I see you. Anna, I see you. Thank you so much. Okay, Jazzy, I see you again. So now, since we get a whole number, we just rewrite it, saying x plus 9. Okay, so since we're able to divide, do it. It gives us a whole number, beautiful. Bring that whole number down and bring everything else down. All right, now we're going to work on the other parenthesis. So with the other parenthesis, we have 1 over 2. 1 over 2, that's going to give us a decimal. All right, so since it's giving us a decimal, and the only thing that 1 and 2 have in common is a 1. So this is at its lowest term. So if we can't divide to get a whole number, we're going to slide. That means we're taking that denominator and make it into the coefficient of that x. So your new parenthesis looks like this. 2x plus, and what remains, if I move that 2 over here, this 1 is still left over. There you go, Brenda. There you go, Anna. There you go, living my life. All right. So you just factored when your leading coefficient is not 1. Okay. And I have one more until I officially lose a lot of light. I know. My ring light just went kaplooey on me, so I just have to hold on, and that's it. Did this problem ahead and got it right. Good. Bill Pryor, good, Jazzy. Look at you. Snoopy, I see you. Okay. Rovi, I see you. Thank you so much. All right. So now, of course, I'm going to step it up just a little bit. Just a tad. No, don't freak out. All right. So now, we have negative 3x. I'll just keep it with the x squared minus 8x minus 4. Okay, yep. So, that's perfect because we are working on quadratics. So, what's different with this expression than the other ones that we've done? What's one thing that's standing out? We have the minus. They're negative. Yes. This time my A, the minus, good. All negative, good. Okay. The other ones we had some all positives. Some of them we had a couple mixtures. So here's the thing. The most important is to look at your leading coefficient. When you're doing factoring, and this is a clue, when you're doing factoring, you could keep it as a negative. But here's the thing. A lot of people like to factor out the -1. So what that means is if I notice that my leading coefficient is negative, they like to pull out the -1. And what happens, you're going to change all the signs of everything else. The reason why, when you do factoring, here's the key. Always ask yourself, do you have a GCF, a greatest common factor? And the greatest common factor that each 3 of these terms have is a -1. So you want to pull that bad boy out. So what's left is your 3x squared. Okay. Then you have a positive 8x. And now you have a positive 4. So anytime you have a negative as a leading coefficient, factor it out. Okay? Pull that bad boy out. And you're going to change the signage of everything else. So it was negative, now it's positive. It was a -8, now it's a positive 8. And it was a -4, now it's a positive 4. Okay? Now, look what's inside the parenthesis. What's inside the parenthesis, that's where you're going to use to find your A, your B, and your C. Okay? So in this case, my A is 3, my B is 8, and my C is a positive 4. Okay. Alright. Okay, Royal Trading, this is not the place for you, my dear. Thank you so much. Alright. So now, again, we're going to multiply our A and our C, put it in this slot, and we're going to rewrite our B and put in that slot. Hey Ann, how are you? What is this topic? Factoring when your A is not equal to 1. That's what we're doing, Angie. Okay. Alright, so now we need to multiply our A and our C. So 3 times 4, that gives me 12. That goes in this spot. Rewrite our B, which our B is 8. Alright, looks like some of you guys are getting there. See me shine. Working in the dark and trying to fight until daylights go out. So now we have to think, what two numbers multiply? See, you guys are getting this. That will give me 12 and add to give me 8. Alright, so I see a lot of yous getting it. I love it. Okay, we got our 6 and 2. We got our 6 and 2. We got our 6 and 2. Nice. Okay, nicely done. Alright. Beautiful thing. I see you, Jazzy. Good. Alright. Trying to... I know, right? I'm like it doesn't exist. Alright, so you have a 6 here and a 2 here. Because 6 times 2 gives me 12. And 6 plus 2 gives me 8. So that's how we know we got two factors. So now, let's set up our two parentheses. We're using that variable of x, so we split our x's. And we're going to use the two factors that we found, which is a positive 6 and a positive 2. What's missing? What's missing with this expression? With these two factors? MT, I see you. Okay. The negative, yes, the -1. Okay, remember, there you go, Jazzy. There you go, everyone. So we factored out that -1. It's like, as I like to call it, it's like your trifling-ass friend. You know, one of your besties, they never have any money, but they want to go places. They want to go to the movies. They don't have any money. They always want to hang out in the car, and they try to, like, you know, pick up people, but you're driving. You know, one of them friends that you're just like, how are we friends? Yeah, they always hang around. So we're just going to bring that down. Alright? You don't have to name anybody. My goodness. Oh, Leroy, I'm sorry. You said it, but I was like, damn, Leroy, you just naming your friend like that? That's crazy. Okay. But anyway, now we're not done. The reason why, our A is not 1. Our A is 3. So we're going to have to divide both of these numbers, not the -1, just the factors. We need to divide by 3. Okay? So, if I can, we know that a -1 is going to come down. Alright, so might as well just put that down here. But then inside of this parenthesis, 6 divided by 3. Well, 6 divided by 3, that gives me 2. So we can put that 2 down, that positive 2. And bring down its x. So if you can divide and get a whole number, bring it on down. So now over here, we have that x plus 2 divided by 3. Now, 2 divided by 3, that's going to give me a decimal. And the only thing that 2 and 3 have in common is a 1. So I can't divide because it's going to give me a decimal. That's why I'm going to slide. So that means inside of this parenthesis, you're going to have 3x plus 2. And this 2 is the 2 that was in the numerator after we moved the 3 over to the front as a leading coefficient here. We brought the 2 down. Okay, good. Nicely done, guys. Nicely done. Look how Anna switched it up. Good. Okay, So it's called the divide and slide. And this is your official answer with the negative 1. Alright? That's what the all new math. Yeah, we didn't do this in the 80s. This is just like a new one. There's so many ways. And that's the thing. When it comes to factoring, there's so many ways. And you just have to figure out, especially with standardized assessments, you have to figure out which way is going to work best for you. Okay? Okay, so some of you guys, this might have been like the very first time that you've seen. Okay? Right? Maggie's like, I thought so. Right? Because you could, as someone mentioned earlier, you could do the quadratic formula. Okay, you could do cross multiplying, which is the AC method, and then try to reduce. But sometimes a lot of people, especially if you're not really strong with your multiplication, you know the basic concepts, like you know how to reduce, like say 1/2, you know how to reduce 2/3. If you can get something like that going and feel confident, you know you can do a lot of the factoring. Because factoring is going to take multiplication, and it's going to really, let's be truthful, really know your multiplication. If you can get your multiplication down, you got this. Okay, no problem. Alright, so definite things I just like to show this way, because remember, when you're doing factoring and you're trying to do the quadratic formula, some people it takes time. Okay, when you're taking around these standardized tests, you don't have a whole lot of time. So say for example, if you're taking the ASVAT, you have 1 minute to do a problem like this. Some people take a little bit longer with the quadratic formula because they get mixed up, and especially if you got a negative number, you get mixed up when you're like doing the substitution with your A, and you know you have to do your -4 times A times C, and then people forget that the original -4 is a -4. And then if I did a -4 with the -3, a lot of people won't see it as +12. They will see it as -12, and then everything that you did after that is wrong. All because we forgot about the rules of a negative times a negative. So that's the whole entire thing. Okay? Alright, so all of this, if you need more practice with these, okay, I developed a whole entire system on that. You need more practice with these, okay? I developed a whole entire system on this, okay? And it's called Algebra at Your Pace. Okay, so this one's going through volume 7 and 8. It deals with adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing polynomials. Ooh. Okay. And then you have, as you go a little bit later on, you go a little bit with the factoring. And each section will give you some extra practice. You got videos of me breaking down each of these concepts. And then as you go through it, you have a summative assessment at the end. But in the back of the book, as we keep going, oops, let me fast forward before I lose all my light. So in the back of the book, you'll have some of the rules, like the reference pages that you can look at. So it kind of gives you the hint with the rules of integers. Okay, it gives you the factor chart. So like if you're trying to figure out what two numbers multiplied together will give me 10, so then you just look up the factor of 10, right? And you have 1 and 10, and you have 2 and 5. So if I add 1 and 10, that gives me 11. Boom, those are my factors. Okay, that's what a factor chart does. It basically breaks down the factors of each of the numbers. Some people go all the way up to 100, but mine goes all the way up to 200. Okay? Sure, on the exam. Okay. So if anything, we have the squares, the square roots, the cubes, the cube roots, the order pairs, the exponents, okay? All the things that you need for this particular one. So I am doing, and if you feel that, hey, I need something early on, hey, that's fine. Because what I do, if you go to my profile, as soon as I can get my YouTube back. Okay, so if you go to my profile, the first link that you see is right here. That's my stand store. Go ahead and take a look. Okay, oops, fat fingers. Alright, so if you go take a look, the first thing that you'll see is a free math checkup. If you want to see, hey, am I really ready for the test? Do I really have some concepts that I want to take a look at? You can go there, okay? To get the good book, the good book. I don't sell Bibles. What are we talking about? Felicia, what are we talking about? Okay, so as we go through, and you can go if you're interested, but I do have this one sale that is going to end today at 11:59, where you can get the first 3 copies of my Algebra at Your Pace, and it's electronic copies, the first 3 volumes, for $22. So if you have anybody that's thinking about going, well, they're going into high school, that needs some help with the basic math concepts, and you need some practice, and you just need a little review, this is perfect for it. So the TSI, yes. Okay. Oh, for the book to study? I was like, Felicia, what good book we talking about? Yes. I was like, I don't sell the Bibles. Now, it all depends on what your test is. Like what test you're having, Felicia. Okay. Alright, so if you need anything for the beginning stages, and if you're wondering, what is Volume 1? So Volume 1 deals with the integer. I'm going to pull this back a little bit. It deals with integers, decimals, exponents. Let's see if I got a little bit of light. A little bit of light. Okay, here we go. Okay, so you got your integers, your decimals, your exponents, your square roots, how to simplify your square roots. All of that is listed. And then, of course, they always give you some extra practice problems and some word problems, like how to address them. Okay, the second book deals with functions. Okay, factors, ratio, proportions, order of operations. Now, I almost forgot to say, in the back of Volume 1, I give you some flashcards to kind of help you do some extra practice with exponents. This side will be the question. You can copy the page and just pin it together. This side will be the question. This side will be your answer. So I give like about a good 6 pages of like 4 problems per page. Same situations happening for Volume 2. With the order of operations, what I do is I give you flashcards of dealing with order of operations. And what happens is it's really a matching game. So this will be like the question, and then you have to match up with the answers. So it just gives you another way of practicing without a long drawn out, PDF. And if you don't know which one's which, I give you an answer key. Okay? So I give you an answer key for that. All right, good. So, and then the other one is solving equations. So if you want to solve equations, 1-step, 2-step, multi-step equations, and that was one of the things that we did this morning. So if you need extra practice with that, or if you want someone to break it down step by step, what happens is you have a QR code in the beginning that gives you a recording of all the topics that's inside of each of the volume. You fill out your notes, you got page for your practice, and then also you're also given an exit ticket. So just a last minute question to see if you really understand what was actually going on. Alright, so all of this, Volume 1, Volume 2, and Volume 3 are all listed. Okay, and the sale of that is $22 for the books, not the physical books, but the digital books. If you need the physical books, you have to go on the A. The A is, the brown box with the smiley face, okay? And if you need to find out where to go for that, you can go all the way to my stand store, which again, if you go to the link in my profile, click on that. Now if you want the physical books, you're going to have to scroll all the way down. So, sorry to make it really crazy for you for a second. If you go all the way down, you'll actually see physical books and resources. Alright, so if you click on that, it will take you to a page of my website, and then you can take a look at the books that you want. And yes, these books are more expensive because you're looking at number of pages and color ink. Okay, so that's why I like to offer the digital books. Everything that's in the physical book is also in the digital book. I never shortchange anything. Whatever you see is whatever you get. Okay? All right. So just go ahead and breeze around through the Stan Store, and if you want to check, just do like a free math checkup, just see how you're doing. Go ahead. I just basically ask for a name in the email just so I know who is looking at my stuff. It will just be kind of nice for me to know. And that is a free service. Okay? All right. So, all of these, I also have practice books. I also have things for the ASVET. I also have things for flashcards. I also have for words. So if anything, I would just have you peruse. And if you have any questions, you can go ahead and just click on my profile pic. Okay, I think I'm going to be in the dark. Okay, not yet. Okay, just click on my profile picture and then ask me a question. Send me a message, because that's the only way you're going to get your questions answered. All right, don't just send me a message hi, because that's how a lot of my scammers do. I just easily delete it and just keep moving on. So tell me like what test you're taking, or what are some of the things that you have problems with, and then like we can have a conversation, and then I can guide you into the right direction. The right direction may not be me, it might be someone else, but wouldn't it be nice to have someone to actually guide you in a direction instead of you trying to guess where you should be and if you are in the right direction? That's why I do all these things. It didn't let me in the Stan Store. Do I do private tutoring? Yes, I do private tutoring. Okay, what do you mean it didn't let you in the Stan Store? Okay, no problem, Jazzy. Where did it take you? Okay. It's just blank? Shouldn't be blank. Let me see what else it could have. No, because it should be a direct link. Because if it wouldn't work for me, do you have to go... You have to go to the AM store? Let me close this and come back. Okay. I was like, what is the... Okay. All right. Okay. So, I'm losing light. Starting to act like... Okay, you can't say it. I can't... Oh yeah, I can't say it. I know, that's the part that's annoying. Because I feel like I'm losing my mind. It's like, I feel like I'm a grown person actually able to say that. Of all words. You know? But, if anything, if you do have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask. You know, send me a message. I'm going to, take a look to see what's going on. And plus, I'm about to lose light. So... This is life. This is how life is. But I do tutoring. If you have questions, I'd rather you ask me the questions before you sign up for anything, because I want to make sure that I'm giving you the right information to guide you. If any of you guys are thinking about getting your T's or your HESI tests, and you need some assistance with dosage calculations, make sure you follow a blessed RN. Okay, make sure you follow her, because that's what she does, and she's an RN, so now you can ask more efficient questions and more detailed questions, more so than I can do. I can do the math, but at the same time, I round. And you can't be rounding with people. I'm not trying to be like, well, Miss Audrey told me to round, and then all of a sudden she killed somebody. No, you ain't putting that on my conscience. No. All right. So make sure you follow a blessed RN. If you have anybody younger that you really want to be able to like learn the basics of adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, you should definitely visit my friend Lynette. She is learning with Lynette. Okay, she's also here on TikTok as well. So make sure, and I just put that into the chat as well. And she uses what's called an abacus. Now the abacus has been around for centuries. Centuries, not years, not months, centuries. And just learning how to physically, what is a 1, what is a 2, how to do the counting. So it helps with the visualization, but also it helps with your mental math. So if you know she does something for kids, she also has some books for adults. So if you want to check her out, go right ahead. All right. All right, everyone. I'm going to get going because I'm definitely losing light. But I will be here tomorrow morning at 7:45 Eastern Standard Time. I think tomorrow morning and possibly tomorrow afternoon, and then I will not be on Monday morning. I'm going to try for Monday afternoon or a slight evening because I have a couple other appointments. So if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask it. If you see, here's another thing. I love you guys, but if you see other people that are doing great things, make sure you share the wealth with people. I mean, there was someone that was talking about this girl, Amy, that's doing things for free. Great. Wonderful. I am not Amy, and Amy is not me. Okay? I just tried to do the best that I can to break things down to hopefully give this space or give you a space that you can feel comfortable to say, I don't know that, and I don't know where to find that. Okay? And also give me a moment because I can put all my replays on YT. Let me show you where that is. Again, if you go to the Stand Store, oops. Upside down. Okay. So if you go to the Stand Store, sometime here, if you look right here in between the F and the N, the fin, okay, you'll see my YT channel. Okay, so when you go to the YT channel, you can go ahead and subscribe. If I scroll up, you'll see all of my TikTok lives. Okay, all of my TikTok lives are listed. This morning should be up there soon, but give me some time to put in today's or this afternoon's. All right. All right. Well, thank you, title gifter. Thank you. All right. No problem, natural wheel. No problem. Or neutral. No problem. All right, everyone. If you have any questions, again, do not hesitate to ask. All right. Have a wonderful day and stay safe. Look like we're about to get another storm. This is great. Third storm today. It's awesome. Take